What up, YouTube? It's your girl Rashina from Akoma Reiki and Healing, and I'm coming to you today with a little message. I figure since it's Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, Samhain, or Hallelujah Day, if you don't celebrate any of that, it really made me think about the duality of human nature, and how we are light and dark. And for some people, it can really be hard to accept that we're not perfect. And so one thing to know about me for sure is that I'm an Erykah Badu fanatic. Like, I've been following her career since dirt. Like, I'm here and I stand for Erykah Badu. And so this tweet that I posted of hers, it's a pretty old tweet, but it's one I've been keeping in my phone for as long as I've known about it, because it's such a great quote. Because I really do think that, like, I resonated with it because it really does speak to the duality of humans. And so I think that a lot of times when we're trying to make any type of change in our life, we start out going so hard and we're euphoric and excited. And it's like, this is going to be great. I'm about to knock this out the park. It's going to be amazing. And then sometimes along the way, shit happens and we mess up. And sometimes that can be a very, very hard pill for us to swallow, because we always want to get it right and we always want to do our best, and we always want people to see us in the best light. And so if we do something that doesn't necessarily align with that, it can be really hard for pretty much all of us. So this can especially be true in a situation like if you're on a spiritual journey and you are trying to be all light and all love, or completely devoted to whatever your religious or spiritual belief is. And so it's, you're all love and all light, and then sometimes things happen where you backslide and you don't get everything right. And that's the same, it can apply to anything in life. If you're on a weight loss journey, if you're dealing with addiction, if you are on a journey to mental and emotional health and wellness. In so many cases in our life, we do our very best, and sometimes things happen and we fall down, and we spend a lot of time staying stuck and beating ourselves up about it, and it's not necessary. It's just not necessary. The reason why it's not necessary, and I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you, is because you are gonna mess up. Because that is what we as humans do. You're gonna mess up sometimes. You're gonna take a step backwards. And guess what? The world ain't gonna end, boo. It's not gonna end, and things are gonna keep going, and you can make a choice to regroup and keep moving forward. That just is what it is. What you have to understand is that being imperfect does not take away from the power and the wonder of who you are. It adds to who you are. It adds to the humanity of who you are, because that is all a part of the human experience. And we have to stop putting these unrealistic expectations on ourselves and other people, because at the end of the day, people are meant to live at each end of the spectrum of humanity, and we're also supposed to be everywhere in between, because we are here to have a deep, full, and meaningful human experience. And a lot of times that comes with victory and triumph and amazingness, but sometimes it also comes with difficulty and hardships. And that's what makes us human, and that's how we learn and we grow. So I want to be clear that none of this means that we have the right to abuse or disempower any other human being. I don't stand for that, and I don't believe in that. But what it does mean is that we should always strive to do and to be our very best. But when it happens that we make a mistake or we mess up, we have every right to forgive ourselves, and we can always ask others for their forgiveness and keep moving forward, and just continue to do better and to learn and to grow as we go along. It also means that we should accept the fullness of every human being, including and especially ourselves. Being great does not require us to be perfect, but it does require us to show up as who we fully are and to be true to ourselves. And if we're constantly in situations where we can't show up simply as ourselves and allow that to be enough, that means you're not doing it right. So, of course, there are certain professional and social situations where you have to be hyper aware of how you conduct yourself. But at the end of the day, if how you show up in those situations is totally unrecognizable from who you are in your regular life, then that means that you're not giving people an opportunity to see who you truly are and either know and love you or know and dislike you. Both of those things are equally valid, and it's okay. But as long as you're showing up as yourself, that is what is most important. So So I'm sure you heard everything I just said and you like, girl, what does this have to do with that Erykah Badu tweet? Well, I'm gonna tell you. I love that tweet and I'm talking about it now because I feel like that tweet is the perfect summation of how I show up in my regular life as well as my business and professional life. So I am constantly doing my best to be my best and to put my best foot forward, but I'm not perfect. And as I evolve, my desire to be perfect quickly diminishes, and my desire to show up as myself and be true to myself is growing exponentially. So that means that I do my best to be full of light and love, but sometimes I'm not in the mood for that, and I gotta just keep it G with folks, and I'm all right with that. It means that sometimes I have potential clients who I empathize with and would love to connect with, but they feel that maybe my pricing or the services I offer are out of reach for them. And that also means that I'm about my business and that I can't constantly undercut my prices and myself. And I'm all right with that. It can mean that, you know, like I'm on my own journey to health and wellness. And so while I do my best to eat right and to make sure my body is in movement and I'm exercising, there are times when I'm going to enjoy those carbs and the ice cream and the wine, and I'm gonna be okay with that sometimes. You know, I try to speak positively in these videos and try to make sure that I'm saying things that can apply to so many people and that people don't necessarily feel offended. But sometimes I'm also gonna curse, and guess what? I'm all right with that shit too, because that is who I am. That's how I show up, and I try to be honest and authentic so that anybody that I'm connecting with knows what they're getting and knows that I won't accept anything that forces me to not be true to myself. Although it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, I recognize and I'm cool with the fact that I'm not for everybody. And that's okay, because people are entitled to feel the way that they feel. But on the other hand, what I do know is that me just showing up as myself and being authentic, there are so many people out here who are watching, or people that I connect with every day, who like me and accept me just as I am. And I'm grateful for that. And that's what I'm concerned about. So at the end of the day, I'm cool with my tea and incense turning into Colt 45 and Newports when need be, because that means that I'm showing up as my total and full self. You know, I'm not here to live on anybody's pedestal. The only thing that pedestals are good for are holding up statues. And as we can see, I'm a living, breathing, and moving human being. I don't have time for a pedestal. At the end of the day, I really strive to do and to be my best at whatever I'm doing. But there are occasions where I fall short, you know, and when that happens, I learn the lesson, I make amends, and I just keep moving forward. And none of that makes me any less dope. It doesn't make me any less spiritual. It doesn't make me any less enlightened. In fact, all it does is make me human. And I'm here for that. That's what I'm here to do. And so I say all of this to encourage you to give that a try and watch how much more peaceful and fulfilling your life becomes when you're living a life that is true to you. So with that, bye YouTube. Peace.
Do you like subscribing yet? Yes, I do.